Hey guys, during the 14-hour broadcast, Yoshi-P himself gave a question and answer period in which he answered some really interesting questions which covered topics like balancing, it covered topics like ultimates and more. Likewise, that means that I think a condensed summary would do really well here. And I should say that what I'm getting a lot of the translations from is from this Reddit post on the 14 Reddit. So I'm going to go over the question, the answer, and then I'm going to be giving my thoughts. Super briefly though, of course. So to no one's surprise who's been keeping up on the news, we're going to be getting one more ultimate for Endwalker. We are currently expecting it to be patch 6.3 because 6.4 is going to be a mainline patch, and so 6.5 is being like crossed off. They said it's not going to be delayed to that point, so probably 6.35 release date I think would be pretty fair. That's what most of us are expecting. Not really earth-shaking news, though some people didn't know this, but yeah, we had a good idea this was going to happen before. Good news for people who are into PvP is that they are actually considering having team ranked for Crystalline Conflict, and this is something that I really would like to see, at least the ability to queue with one other person. But what the developers are trying to do is they're trying to get official tournaments off the ground first with all of this going on before they start doing that, which I'm kind of torn on because one of my biggest gripes with Crystalline Conflict is I would want to duo with someone, and I really can't do that right now. But the fact that there's conversations on that gives me some hope. In terms of crossing data center PF, such as NAG being able to travel to Japanese data centers, they are saying that it's a possibility, but it would take years, so personally for me, I'm not holding my breath for this. I also do think that there is a lot of pushback from certain sections of the community that would really not want this to happen, and so I don't think this will ever happen, but that's just my personal opinion. Apparently Namazu Glamour is something that has been really requested. I actually think that'd be kind of funny. I think that I'd actually prefer it over the elephant. Sorry, elephant suit. I wasn't the biggest fan, but I think Namazu would be actually pretty awesome, and so Yoshi-P is actually going to be taking it back to the dev team. Job balance was brought up, and then Yoshi-P brought up that the balance team and the battle content team are going to be the same people. They're not like a separate team, and that the developers obviously thoroughly check everything, and that there could be a damage of, say, 1% difference simply due to the large number of jobs, and that obviously the team is going to keep trying, but he does say that there isn't a game out there that has achieved perfect balance. Namely, in my opinion, is World of Warcraft, where the balance there is pretty freaking horrible, if I'm honest, which makes me nervous to talk about World of Warcraft ever. But they've actually experienced it firsthand with Beast Mastery Hunter. I spent more time in Orbos looking through the groups for the group finder there, because I was Beastmaster Hunter. I wasn't the right spec, so that sucks there. But he does say, I think maybe even jokingly, that they were looking at maybe having a staff member whose job was only to hit a training dummy, but there haven't been any applications to that. On the note of different glamours, a lot of players want to be trying on a lot of different types of glamours and have an idea of what they might want to go for. After all, we have a lot of gear from different dungeons, different raids, and so the idea of a kind of catalog where you could check out dungeon equipment or something like that, while it could take some work, it is probably technically possible, and that he will move this idea forward to the dev team. I, for one, really would like that. I think that would be so exciting. That would definitely boost the game for me. Even as someone who has played through all the expansions, who has been here through the years, even I forget some pieces exist. Like the Diamond Codex is from like Stormblood, but I think that looks pretty cool. How did I stumble across that? Literally for a video where I was going over Stormblood raid gear and how little people care about it now, and then I'm like, oh, that actually kind of looks cool. It has like the little diamonds in it. The diamond cane is also really cool looking. So the dev team is looking at adding more housing wards, which is extremely good news, and I think that's the biggest thing here. But this was kind of asked in like a joint ownership housing question, which is kind of scary to me because the idea of someone else getting access and relinquishing it, oh my god, fear. But the biggest news that I think most people would care about is new housing wards are being added, which is super good news, although there was no date given. Now, someone asked if there would be Ishgard restoration stuff, and for those who weren't there, it was brought in Shadowbringers, and basically it was really good for leveling crafters and gatherers. It was just like crafter gatherer like heaven, and there was like competitions to get, like, if you're like the beta male of the firmament or something, I don't even know. And so like people really wanted that title, and so people would like craft like all day and night for that beta male of the firmament title. And so basically Yoshi-P is saying they have talked about it, but currently there's no plans if they would do it, let alone a time frame, and that they won't be able to probably do something on the scale of like Island Sanctuary, but that they would be considering maybe something on a smaller scale. Now, this is actually very interesting to me as someone who loves housing. Apparently they are looking into ways to remove the pillars from houses, and I really hope that they succeed at this, because that would be like, whoa, dude. I've learned how to live with the pillars, but that would be really nice if we could get rid of them. This is going to be interesting for raiders. Is Yoshi-P was mentioning that there might be a whiteboard in-game to draw on, which I would absolutely freaking love. I would absolutely adore this. Like, imagine even if you extended it and had like some transparent layer that you could share with everyone, where you like drew scribbles on the map on the ground. Like, he didn't go into that, but I'm kind of going there in my mind. It's just like, okay, like let's say you're on, I don't even know, like P5S, and then you just draw like lines from like this proto Carby to here, like, and just explain mechanics. I think that'd be really cool. I actually would see that being used quite a bit. Prague is crazy. Next up, a player brought up Carby Glamours, so like being able to like change your pet, and that has been suspended, needing to redo like the visual effects, but he does say that he will talk to the devs responsible for that, and he is hinting as well as at more carbuncle themed items, which, I mean, if it can be on the same level as the Fat Cat stuff, I would be living for it, because the Fat Cat suit is just so good. The Yokai event got brought up again, and like people want that event again because it is that limited time event, and I emphasized to a lot of people, like, hey, you really want to do this now. So seeing it come back honestly is great. I think everyone should be able to get it. The mount, if you don't like any of the weapon glamours in particular, that mount alone is so dumb. It's literally a Nyan Cat couch that you fly on. I absolutely love it. It's popped up in a lot of my videos even lately. It's so stupid. I love it. Oh god. This is a topic I've covered, and it's about the healer shortage in Party Finder. Oh lord. So basically Yoshi-P is saying that, as I stand behind fully, that healing content really was too easy before, and I want harder healing content. 100% absolutely do. Like, I think Barbaricha Extreme in this current Savage tier is amazing to heal in static. I absolutely love it, but the problem is, as soon as you step into Party Finder, there's just people not using their abilities. They're not using Feint, but I already talked about that in another video. But Yoshi-P was concluding that, saying he's going to be looking into the stats and how things are really panning out over the long term. Because remember, this raid tier is still pretty new. Like, it's still relatively fresh. Third-party tools are brought up again, and Yoshi-P basically said that he doesn't want to really get into the topic further than he already has, and that he doesn't really want the game to move into a direction where it's all about cracking down on players, which I think is honestly a perfect response, because as soon as you go down that territory, it's... Yoshi-P finally said that he does want a Kingdom Hearts crossover, but he doesn't want to just bring over the costumes, but also the story and the characters. But this is going to be something where you'd need to secure the rights, because Disney does own Kingdom Hearts. But obviously he thinks that that would be absolutely amazing. I think that that would be absolutely amazing, and that's why it's going to be in my thumbnail for sure, because that is like the highlight of all this for me. Anyhow, this is all for the Q&A, and as always, it would make me super happy if you considered liking and subscribing, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.